want to be a rock star. Now, neither are achievable for the vast majority of us, but for some people, the great unattainable dream, it wasn't just pie in the sky, it was just a hair's breadth away. And I wonder if that makes it feel even worse. Well, two men who were that close join me just now. Rock critic for The Telegraph, Neil McCormick, and his brother Ivan, both who have chartered their almost there story in a new, almost true film, Killing Bono. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Neil, can you take us back to your school days where this film, I suppose, all starts, and set the scene for us?
Well, I went to school in Dublin. My family moved there from Scotland in 1970, and I was in the same class as a young man called Paul Hewson, who the world better knows as Bono. And myself and my brother Ivan, who's here, formed a rock band, and you two formed a rock band. Ivan briefly played with them, and then threw his lot in with me, much to his eternal regret. And we set off to conquer the world, and really felt like, you know, we were taking on the world as equal partners in musical crimes. Get out of Ireland and make it big, and one of us did. and one of us didn't, and it's really, that's the story. It's the film's called Killing Bono that they've made, and it's about how someone else's success can weigh very heavily on your own failures.
Yeah, Ivan, back in those days, back in school, I mean, was it a school full of bands and musicians?
It was a school. No, it wasn't really. It was a school full of young men who liked to play football and do those sort of things. There was good music teachers there, though. I have to say, we were encouraged when we did get a band going. We were given a place to practice and make a racket. And it was the very beginnings of punk when we all started, and so that wave of musical innovation certainly swept through our school, and we rode on it.
But you know, if you think back to then, it wasn't like a career path.
No,
we were the first two bands that ever come out of that school. I bet you there's 100 have come out since then.
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, Ireland, I suppose, wasn't particularly well known for bands coming out at all at that stage. But I suppose Thin Lizzy were the ones that you could aspire to at that stage. But there wasn't a great tradition of it, really, was there?
No, there wasn't. There was, like you say, Thin Lizzy, Rory Gallagher.
There was in Ireland, they had like the show band tradition, and the show bands had an absolute grip on the venues. There was nowhere where you could play, and so the show bands were just going out doing top 40 and country music and wearing kind of funny outfits.
The show bands, they were the heroes of Ireland, weren't they? They were the pop stars of Ireland, because they didn't have television in the same way they had in the UK. People couldn't tune into Top of the Pops. They couldn't see these bands, so they could watch the show.
We didn't have a pop radio station.
Yeah.
I mean, Ireland in the 70s was like probably like the UK in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about the relationship with Bono and how that all developed, and the film itself. But first, we'll have a listen. This is your band we're going to hear. You called them Shook Up. And I think this is a song that the title that Bono would definitely have approved of. This is Stop the World.
It's 2 a.m. over
I was shook up. Isn't it amazing how a keyboard sound can transport you so many years? That is
right to the 80s.
Yeah. But I mean, you listen to that and you think, well, that's as good as anything Heaven 17 or ABC were doing. So how far did you take the band, Ivan?
We took the band right to the edge, and then we
Went
I don't know
over.
what we did. We garroted it. We did something to it. We never quite understood, and we never crossed that divide.
We got signed we went through a lot of struggles, but we got signed in the UK by Warner Brothers, and they were saying, this is our big signing. You guys could be as big as Duran and the Police, and that was all. We were in the studio, we were recording stuff, and we went backstage at a U2 concert in Milton Keynes, and our lawyer was there, and we were talking about the deal, and his face rather fell, and he says, "Has nobody told you they've ripped it up?" And we were dropped from Warner's, and the head of Warner's at that time admitted that he hadn't actually listened to the music. He'd taken one look at our photograph, and he'd used that. He'd said, "I don't like their hair."
You're joking.
What was going on was political things within Warner's. The music business is not... Talent counts for a lot, but it doesn't count for everything. You need talent, you need persistence, and you need a hefty dose of luck. U2 were a great band who had incredible talent and great persistence, but they also had a lot of luck. And once things start rolling for you, you roll with it and you grow with it. We sort of came rather brutally to a halt at too many junctures. And when Warner Brothers wanted to sign us, pretty much every record company in England was interested in signing us. But when they dropped us, 3 or 4 months later, people think, "Oh, what's wrong with them?" And you're limping after that. You're limping badly.
Yeah. When you were in school, did you recognise Bono and the rest of the boys there as being anything special, or did you just think they were all right?
Bono definitely is something special.
Bono was always special.
Yeah, he would walk down the corridor with a little entourage of kids following him and asking him questions, and he was the first punk, wasn't he, in the school, walking around with a safety pin in his cheek. He was something about him for sure.
Yeah. The others were schoolboys. Ivan was there when the very first rehearsal of U2 took place. They called themselves Feedback, and it was in Larry's kitchen. And people couldn't play and didn't know what they were. Bono didn't even want to be the singer, and people hadn't brought very many guitars. And their first concert was in the school gym, and they played a Bay City Rollers song.
Well, we're going to find out, how close, because there's some classic lines in the film, and the film, it's got to be said, isn't exactly following the story, but actually it's got some lovely twists in it. But let's have a wee listen to some of the very early U2, although this is the band from the actual film, Killing Bono, and they're playing the hype song, Street Mission, so it was never officially released, but this is, I suppose, what U2 would have sounded like. And if you're a big U2 fan, then the actual demos recorded by the Hype are out there, and you just have a little hunt for them. And very interesting stuff there. Now, Ivan, the film has it that you were kept out of the band by your terrible brother, but that's not actually what happened, is it?
No, it's not the truth. The truth of the matter is I was kicked out of the band because...
That's not so glamorous at all, is it?
It's not so glamorous. I think I was only in the band because I had the best guitar in school. And the Edge used to relieve me of it at every practice and give me his plank to play. And then one day Adam rang me up one Saturday morning, and I just bought a new amplifier with my pocket money. And he'd obviously heard this, and because they'd obviously been saying he's not really fitting in. And he rang me up and said, "Did you buy that amp for the band?" And I was going, yeah, it's cool, isn't it? And he goes, well, actually, we've got this gig, Ivan, you see, and it's in a pub. And I was going, yeah, that's great. He said, well, you're too young to get in the pub.
Oh, what an excuse.
Well, it didn't occur to me at the time that they were too young to get in the pub as well. That was the problem. Anyway, I accepted it, and then that's when Neil and I started our band together.
Yeah. So, although obviously there is always some kind of form of rivalry, Neil, between bands. Bands going in the same music circuit, they tend to be. There is a sense of friendship and camaraderie sometimes when you're out there. Was there that sense with you, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved U2. Even listening to that Street Missions version really takes me back. I could still sing that song. It used to be the end of their set when they were the hype, and it was the start of what they were becoming. You could hear all Bono's Bowie mannerisms there that he used to put on. But they didn't feel like rivals to me. They were just an exciting band. They were kind of our Beatles in the cavern. I used to go to all the gigs. I saw them become what they were. And we were friends from school, and so it was all very, very positive because they had this idea that they were going to be a rock band. It was all very serious what they were doing, whereas we really had this idea we're going on top of the pops. We're going to be a pop band. And I used to think, even when they were having success, I used to think, well, that'll only go so far. They'll never get to Wembley Stadium. Then they're in Wembley Stadium and we're still playing Wembley Coach and Horses. It sort of started to sink in.
Yeah, you're still in touch with Bono a lot, Neil, aren't you?
Yeah.
And has he seen the film? I take it he knows all about the whole thing.
Yeah, he's seen the film. He loved the book. He said it was the first place that he really recognised himself in print because so he should. I see him as a multi-dimensional human being rather than a rock icon. And he saw the film, and the actor who plays him, Marty McCann, a Northern Irish actor, is fantastic. When I was on the set and he walked in, I actually thought Bono had come in the room. And he enjoyed it. He especially enjoyed the early days stuff. But I think the film's good for Bono because it humanises him in a way that people have forgotten that that everybody's human, and this takes you back to when he's a schoolboy finding his way in the world rather than the rock star imposing his ideas on it.
Yeah, well, guys, I've only seen the trailer for it, and it looks, just the trailer looks absolutely fantastic. The characters are quite superb. So I think it's in cinemas across the UK from the 1st of April.
That's
so
right, April Fool's Day.
So
Great day
maybe
for
if you
comedy.
didn't make it quite as big as musicians, guys, maybe your career is, the source for this film that's going to propel you to the stardom you always hoped you'd have.
It's going to propel a couple of guys who are playing us to start. The whole thing has become very bizarre now. Somebody else is singing our songs, being us, and getting famous for it. 25 years on.
Oh, well, great. Thank you very much.